Welcome to the Go Forth and Amplify podcast from DeathSquadUK.com. We are in no way affiliated to Brian Redband's original setup, but he inspired us to do this podcast. This week, me, Ben Burrows, at BritPodcaster on Twitter, and Declan Whiteside, at TheAnarchistUndead on Twitter, are going to try and blow your fucking minds. Now, as they say in the United Kingdom of Northern Ireland and Great Britain and the Commonwealth, let us start this motherfucker.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're going to jump straight into it this week, and a dark day for humanity, let's call it. Edward Snowden, the whole conspiracy, the whole act of freedom surrounding this one man, is what he did spying, terroristic, unpatriotic, or what he did? Is it just not one man telling the truth? How do you see it?
Well, obviously he's telling the truth. That's an obvious one, but it's a grey area, isn't it? Let's face facts. But I think this is very fundamentally different to the Bradley Manning thing.
Yeah.
You know, this is the Bradley Manning stuff came out and no one particularly cared about what the content was. It was that it happened. Whereas this, everybody cares about the content of this.
So
one.
the Bradley Manning one, it was the fact that it was the first major release to go nationwide through WikiLeaks. Was that the outrage with the Bradley Manning, not necessarily the content? Because what Bradley Manning released was fucking it was fighter pilots basically gunning down civilians as if it was a game.
It was,
and there was also a clip of American pilots gunning in tank killers, killing a British. British squadron in tanks. They didn't know at the time it was British soldiers. They just saw like orange fucking boxes on the tanks and thought it was a tank with chemical weapons, so they took it out. But they never released the actual video footage to the families. And the investigations, the DOD was protecting the pilots, which is understandable. It was a mistake. It was a fucking terrible mistake that the pilot made, because they killed British soldiers who are friendly. So it wasn't just a combat error, sort of dresses it down a lot, doesn't it? But I think the fuckery behind it was that the DOD was hiding it and trying to protect them when the guilt and the evidence was out there. I think they said that the video didn't exist as well, didn't they?
I honestly can't remember properly, but I remember that for an impact, the impact that those leaks had was all... A lot of the impact was very sensationalised, media reporting it over the space of a couple of days and saying this document came out saying that, you know, the Americans had spied on this, or the Americans had done this, or the Americans didn't trust the Pakistanis. Most of the stuff that was in it, everybody knew, you know. They just didn't.
Yeah, but we also know that the government spies on us, and we also know that they torture people and probably black people off the streets. We know that, but we don't get... It's not really reported, so when it does come through these back channels, that's when... Why are we ignorant and we just sort of turn our head and go, fucking hell, it is true that they're doing it?
Well, I don't know about everybody else, but I know we're ignorant because we're fucking British.
No, but when shit goes down, we take to the streets. Look what happened the last time. I know we've touched on it before, but we fucking burnt down a lot of the fucking UK. Do you know what I mean? It was a lot to do with boredom. There was a lot of personal agendas behind it, but we did take to the streets, so that's still there. It does take a catalyst for people to take to the streets.
But your Bradley Manning thing, no one really... I can't think of a good way to put it. With it, a lot of the stuff that was in it was all political. A lot of it was political scandal. A lot of it was political stuff. You know, a lot of it was bad political stuff. You know, this stuff generally. Now I know everybody already knows that your phone calls get recorded. And
people have known that for decades.
You know, we've always known that, but not to this extent. And not only that, I think one of the most angering factors of it with it, well, for me personally anyway, is that not just it was our own GCHQ, whatever the hell they were called. Not only were they doing it, but they were also passing it on to the prison program, just like everybody else was passing it.
What do you mean? What do you mean prison program?
The NSA prison program. That's what the scandal was started with. Did you not see the first leak that it was? The first leak was that the NSA, the prison program, was being given all recordings and messages and emails and everything from your national respective equivalents,
right?
E.g., ours is the GCHQ.
Okay.
Who were passing on our messages and stuff like that to the NSA.
Right.
That was one of the first leaks.
What are you on about? Prison?
The prison program.
Oh,
was
prison, not prison, as in people
prison.
incarcerated.
Yeah, prison
with an M. Right,
you know that's what the NSA program was called,
okay.
wasn't it? Hard work that, Ben.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I thought you were saying prison.
No, but I think this one, I think people care much more
because it's human doing the right thing.
Well, yeah. Well, it wasn't just that. Like, were you Bradley Manning? What was he? A private? Was he something like that?
Private first class. He was pretty low down.
You know, whereas this Edward Snowden, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, he's a fucking. I'm not going to go to the extent that certain people refer to him as a hero or anything like that. But he could have easily plodded on with his life with his fucking $6-figure salary.
Is that how much he was on?
He was on, I think it was $126,000 at the NSA.
Why aren't you wearing your headphones?
I don't want to.
You don't want to wear your headphones?
No.
Turn them down then.
I'm going to be cool. It's part of me look. Ben.
Yeah, but you hear people better.
That's alright. I'll trust.
Right,
but no, he was.
You're ruining my car, mate.
He was on well. He was on well into $6-figure salary. For fuck's sake.
Good lad. Right, so he was 29 years old and he was well into a $6-figure salary.
Yeah, I can tell you what it was on here somewhere along the line. But
it must have just been eating a fucking way in, mustn't it? It must have been niggling at him that what they were doing was infringing on innocent people's lives, and that fucking saying that's coming out at the moment, well, if you've got nothing to be gilly about, then you've got nothing to hide, and if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to be gilly about, so we're gonna spy on you anyway, motherfuckers.
Well, his first salary was well into the six figures in the NSA. He worked directly for the NSA. I know that.
Indirectly or directly? So he was he's NSA.
He was a direct NSA employee.
Okay.
And then he left the NSA and went for one of these military subcontractors.
More money.
No, it was less. It was actually less money.
Right.
But it gave him much more access to files.
Well, you got to ask the question behind it. Why did he do that then? Did he want to see what the fuck was going on?
And then his salary went down to the lower 100,000 mark.
Mm-hmm.
Still, it was over 100,000 still. And then he made, what was it? He made an unscheduled trip to Hong Kong with 3 laptops, I think it was, or 4.
Is this why he's still an employee before he was like AWOL?
Yeah, well, he was obviously an employee for, I can't even remember what the hell the company was called. It was some contracting firm that did it for the NSA. I can't remember what the hell it was. But he went with the laptops to Hong Kong.
Okay.
Then downloaded all the stuff and went. I think he gave some of the stuff to the Washington Post. I think it was, and most of the rest of it to the Guardian.
Okay.
Who've been slowly but surely trickle feeding it over the last few weeks.
Yeah. Selling papers.
Yeah. But as far as I know, he did it for no money, and he just.
It must have been eaten away at him, mustn't it? It must have been complete infringement of people's civil fucking rights.
He's had a fucking missus for years as well, and he's just fucked her off. He's just gone.
Well, he's had to disappear, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Is he colluding with anybody else? Do you reckon it's just one man like Bradley Manning? Well, Bradley Manning wasn't one man. He had WikiLeaks behind him. Do you reckon these other Edward Snowdens out there that are going to trickle through the system and say, listen...
Undoubtedly.
They need a high profile, don't they? They need like a director to come out and say... But the thing is, I cannot understand why they're hunting them down, because they're saying he's broke the law by... We have something in the UK called the Official Secrets Act. I've signed it when I worked for the Senate. I don't even know whether I'm supposed to be fucking talking about it, but I've signed the Official Secrets Act to say that I can't talk about work that I used to do for the government. I wonder if they have something similar, whether it's called the Official Secrets Act or the Official Data Secrets Act or something like that. That's why they want him, isn't it? Because they broke that law. Is it espionage as well?
He has been charged in absence for espionage.
Is that what he's been charged with?
Yeah. There's another one as well.
I'd say what made me laugh was when Barry Obama, they were
Barry Obama.
They were in like his conference room where he was having his weekly media chat bollocks, and he said that we're trying to work with all the countries to make sure that the law is being followed. And I'm thinking to myself, now you want the international law to be followed when you've infringed it.
Yeah.
Fuck knows how many times in your own country, and where you're killing civilians with drone attacks fucking in Pakistan or Afghanistan. That's fucking illegal. I know there's such thing as collateral damage in war, and the civilians are going to get fucking killed, but I think there's too many kids dying. One kid is too many to die in a war, isn't it? But there seems to be kids dying by the fucking dozens over there through drone attacks and spying on your own citizens. Is that illegal? Is it illegal in this country?
Now, this is where things get a bit complicated. Now, you'll find a lot of statements always say, the GCHQ or the NSA.
For our American viewers or non-British viewers, can you just explain to them what GCHQ is?
GCHQ is the British equivalent of the NSA program, PRISM. Right. It's there. We've got a big, massive building. You can find pictures of it. It's a big circular building.
What's a GCHQ? Government Communications Headquarters. I think it is
something like that. But it's literally.
It looks like the Pentagon.
It's not exactly top secret. They've got official documents for it, and the government. There's a website for it, and everything tells you that it's there to track communications in Britain.
Can you release information through the Freedom of Information Act?
No.
So it is top secret.
Yeah, but you get the point. It's not exactly like
it's widely known.
You can't miss the building when you see it. It looks like a UFO.
Yeah, that's MI6 though, isn't it? On the River Thames, everybody fucking knows it's there, even though they didn't admit that existed until the early fucking 90s. Doesn't exist at MI6 headquarters. Doesn't exist.
But I think one of the main things now, this is what you find with a lot of statements, especially politicians and your generals and all these fucking lunatics. They come out with a statement and they say, the NSA PRISM program, we operate within the legal boundaries. And it's like, if they operate within the legal boundaries, then surely we don't want that fucking to be legal in the first place. Or it might be within it's the same for the tax avoidance thing. Oh, well, what we're doing is legal. Yeah, but you're still avoiding fucking tax.
So what they're saying, they're operating within the boundaries? Are they saying that?
Every single statement has said they're operating within legal parameters and international law and all sorts of fucking shit.
So basically all communications are open to be monitored. Can we do that? Can we monitor communications?
That's more or less the gist of the fucking thing. And no, we can't.
So what about scanners?
A scanner's illegal.
You fucking buy. You used to be able to buy them, man.
I know you used to be able to buy them, but I mean,
the military
to use it to scan other certain frequencies, was it illegal at the time?
You see, it was officially released to listen to the plane chatter coming in, because there was like a big hobby of that. But in the early noughties, 90s and before, police radios were using radio bands, and the military channels were using radio bands. But in this country now, we no longer use radio bands. They use digital bands. They use mobile, basically adapted mobile phones as the walkie-talkie. In America, though, they still use the radio bands primarily.
I remember as a kid fucking listening to your scanners was more entertaining than watching the fucking TV sometimes.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Everything that was going on around you.
So we could listen to them. That's why they changed it, though, because there were too many fucking people. A lot of the bad guys, they had scanners as well. They would hear chatter saying that the 5-0 were on the way. The feds, the Rozzers were on the way to their
someone
location.
spotted so-and-so fucking breaking into a house. Oh, shit, run.
They used to bug out like a motherfucker.
But back to the original point. The
GCHQ.
Saying that they're operating within the law. You've got what's legal, haven't you? Then you've got what's fucking morally right. And this is clearly,
morally right. Fucking hell. So is that the argument that they're damned if they do listen to us and they're damned if they don't?
Well,
how many terror attacks has it stopped through using GCHQ?
Officially, none.
Right.
But they say they've avoided and foiled so many, but they'll never give you details about
how they've done it.
How they did it.
It's
always very vague.
Though,
and I think Obama said that 50 odd terrorist attacks have been foiled since 9/11. since the prison program was set up.
Right, a lot of that is bollocks. A lot of those terrorist attacks are FBI finding a radical, right, and then saying... Like,
and then persuading him to fucking commit a terrorist attack.
Yeah, like you say, playing him with money, like giving him $50,000, like, go and do this terrorist attack, and then they go to arrest him before they do it, so... That is that morally right? Or we've managed to get a bad guy off the street? Hang on a second. You find somebody who's already a radical, who may or may not have ever done anything right. Probably not, but he's just really passionate about his fucking cause, and he slags off the government and all that.
And you've radicalised him yourself.
And you've just exacerbated that situation, and you've pushed £50,000 in front of him, maybe even more, $250,000 in front of him, and he's going to think, do you know what? These motherfuckers are legit. I'm going to go fuck shit up. People are greedy.
Yep.
And normal people would say no for any amount of money, but when you've already got somebody who's weak and somebody who's already got a fucking malfunction, you're gonna break them. Yeah. Is that foiling them? Is that getting insane people off the street? I don't know.
Well, that's another fucking arguable one, isn't it? But to me, it just sounds to me like they're making excuses. You know, oh yeah, we've failed this many terrorist attacks because that's what they were saying. Because of this program, we've failed this many terrorist attacks. Now, I think we all the main thing. The main thing is that we're fairly mature democracies. Let's face facts. We're fucking big boys and girls. We accept that shit like this happens. Yeah. You know, and even if it was just, let's say, Joe Bloggs was going to commit a terrorist attack and they caught him because of this. Well, why didn't they just fucking release it at the time and say, we caught him by doing this? They didn't. They just fucking left it top secret. Never told anybody what they'd done or anything. Right. And then when a whistleblower comes out, they go mad about the secrets. Mm-hmm. You know, and they say that it damages this and damages that and damages relations and everything like that. Yeah, the way if it wasn't a secret in the first place, no one would give a fuck. I don't know whether nobody would give a fuck. People, maybe more people would protest about it because they knew it was being admitted. There was an admission that they were doing it. Once you admit something, that's when people start fucking walking around. I don't know why, but our society now, it's like the rumour isn't enough to fucking do something. You've got small fucking fringes and small fucking guerrilla groups, like factions who are really angry and out there maybe hacking and trying to find out what, but it's such a small percentage. It's probably 0.1% of a population who are aggressively trying to find out these things. It's like I said before earlier, we know what's going on, but why aren't we doing fucking anything about it? Is it because our lives are too cushy? We've got money in the bank, we've got our own houses, we go to work, we come home and all that. We're preoccupied with other shit around us. But put it this way, if you've got a family, right, and you've got a job, you don't want to jeopardise that and lose it, do you? So you don't put yourself in a position where the government are going to come fucking knocking on your door. Well, that's not really you're too preoccupied to care about it. That's more you're too scared to care about it. It's not really preoccupation, is it? It's more you don't want to. But you've got other focuses in your life that you don't want to jeopardise. You've got other focuses that you're scared of damaging that focused area, whatever that's your kid, wife, house, whatever. I think it's generally speaking, you're a little bit afraid to do that anyway. Yeah. Not that you seem to have less and less time anyway. You see, I'm armchair. Yeah, I'm armchair. I'm telling you now, mate. I don't know whether this is me, this is enough to get me into trouble, but in my head, if I had access to that information, I don't know whether I'll be able to have the balls to do what fucking Edward Snowden did, whether to come out, because he's on good money, he's got a good lifestyle, but is it human nature was that eating away at him to say this is morally fucking wrong what is going on? Fucking Mr. and Mrs. Jones who live next door, but I can listen to their conversations if they want to. Can they tap into your cameras on your iPhone? Right now, could they access your camera? Even though it's not working, they probably could, couldn't they? Just like Batman did in the Dark Knight. It's a fucking arguable one, isn't it? Every single thing in the world will tell you they can't, basically. You know, whether or not they can is another matter, isn't it? Now, I know, strictly speaking, most of your fucking webcams and all cameras of any sort, by law, have got some kind of light on to tell you when it's on. Yeah. Webcams have definitely got we've got our red ring that are telling us that the webcam's on. Hello, Dave. You can't do that today, Dave. It's like fucking what's it called out of Space Odyssey 2001? What are you trying to do today, Dave? But, I think, you know, obviously, I think we all know anyway that so many levels of secret, you know, recordings or. Do you not feel violated? Are you not asked? I'm not particularly that bothered, you know. Is it because you're not doing anything to fucking... What
It pisses me off that I could be fucking Skyping me missus, like fucking cock in hand and all that. And theoretically, somebody could be right. Everybody knows that fucking NSA. I've got Skype in the ass in the NSA's ass pocket. If they want to, they could theoretically tap into your live feed while you're talking. So I don't want. That's not right. I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm having a private, intimate moment with Mrs. Burrows. Right. I want to be able to fucking. I want to be able to do that, not knowing these. And it's some fucking perv in the MSA cock-handed thinking this is fucking great. Because there is going to be people out there who are going to be doing that to get the kicks off, aren't they?
Yeah.
I understand though, key words like plotting assassinations or
that's
bombings.
my exact point, is that I think we're, as a population of any country, and at least your more advanced democracies anyway, though that system of keywords and monitoring somebody on suspicion of being a terrorist,
which was what was done in the 70s.
But whereas this program indicates that it's not all. But it's more like a blanket,
There's no reasonable cause. It's just that we're going to look at you.
It's just they get all this and they go through it, and I think that's much more wrong,
A prime example of that is there was a 21-year-old. I'm going to say kid, 21-year-old lad who had just finished university in the UK, and he was going to Las Vegas, right? And he put on Twitter, he said, "Me and my mates are going to Las Vegas."
I think it was New York, I think. Oh, when he said, "I'm going to blow up New York."
No, we're going to smash the town up. Do you know which is the saying in the UK? We're going to smash it.
Yeah, you had that one who went to New York, didn't you?
And he
tried to.
He fucking. The TSA got him and the fucking DOD were waiting for him. And this 21-year-old lad, he went to a correctional facility, like a proper bum in the asylum, where he was getting deported. You don't do that to a 21-year-old lad. You know his intentions aren't bad. It's a fucking phrase where he's going to have a fucking good time. He isn't going to cause shit. And you're criminalising him. That's going to fucking scar him for life. That is more likely to turn somebody against you than fucking... than him never popping up on the radar. They brought him onto the radar for no reason, just for a term.
There was that. There was one in New York, I think it was, where he was supposed to be going out there for whatever. I can't even remember why the hell he was going out there, but he said something similar on Twitter, and 12 hours later, whatever the hell it was, when he touches down in New York, fucking gets accosted by the FBI type thing, interviewed for 6 hours, whacked back on the plane and back home.
And straight out.
He's a risk. He was 20. He was less than 30.
And what was his? What did he say?
It was something along the lines of, "I'm going to blow up New York," something like that.
Taken it out of context.
Yeah. Well,
one of the. Sorry, go on, mate.
Well, you had that one the other year, didn't you? Remember when all the airports were snowed in on the bad winter that we had.
Yeah.
And that fella said, Robin Hood Airport got fucking 3 days to sort his shit out, or I'm gonna fucking...
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, wasn't he an executive or something like that?
Yeah, he lost his job. He fucking lost his house. He lost his fucking missus. He lost everything, and the criminal courts fucking charged him. And then fucking 9 months later, they threw it out on a court of appeal. But by then, he's fucking lost his house. Yeah, he's lost everything. And
did he not get that back? Did he not get compensation?
Nothing. No compensation at all. And it was literally, I'm sure it was reported. It was like 46 character tweet. And he's not exactly going to be blowing up Robin Hood Airport. He wanted to go on holiday, and it was snowed in. He couldn't go on holiday. He said something a little angry. If you said it, just to your mate or something, you'd go...
better sort that shit out, or I'm going to go down there and I'm going to go fuck shit up.
It's fucking completely stupid.
Freedom of speech, does that not extend to the internet then?
Clearly not.
Because you're putting it in text, are they taking that as an act of aggression, as a potential to do something?
Yeah, well,
I thought you can only... Is that not... It's a crime not taking that until the action's in motion.
The courts seem to not... Well, at least the courts over there, I'm presuming the American ones are the same. They don't seem to comprehend sarcasm, which is that probably 99% of the stuff I say online is sarcastic.
Yeah.
Half the time I don't even mean it anyway.
Yeah.
Whether I'm joking or not, I just fucking just... post shit.
Which we all do. We all put stupid lines on there. But do you ever put something up and take it off for fear of incrimination, like being taken out of context?
I've never posted something up and then deleted it, but I have started writing something and then gone back to Facebook.
Yeah, because it's too controversial. See, some people just don't give a fuck. I mean, have you ever read the tweets that I've sent to David Cameron and George fucking Osborne?
Yeah.
There's this one fella who said that, on Twitter, he said that, "Hey George, you need to sort yourself up, or I'm going to slit your throat," something like that. How the fuck has he not been arrested? Because that is basically a threat on somebody's life, isn't it? It's the chance of the Exchequer's life. I mean, I read it and thought, you're either on the dole or you're rich, because you can't have much to lose if you're fucking saying stupid fucking things like that.
But then you've got the other fucking route, then, haven't you? How do you tether the line between you saying something offensive online and something offensive in person? How do you?
How do you determine between the two?
How do you determine whether so and so is going to really blow up that fucking airport or not? You know,
they're just not taking the risk, are they? Maybe that's the society we all live in now.
Maybe, but
we're all too paranoid. The government's paranoid, but they seem to be criminalising people who don't necessarily need to be criminalised. It seems to be.
Then you've got the other side of it, though. The people who do say really fucking dangerous shit and say they're going to do this and fuck all happens.
Why is that? Why do they want them in society or something? Do they want that? Are they leaving those alone because they need to have that in society to keep the crime rates up?
I've no idea. It's just fucking lost on me. You know.
What's the latest with Snowden? Where is he at the moment? Has he made it to Ecuador or?
He's supposed to be in transit in Moscow.
What's Vladimir Putin said? Because he's come out. Putin said
he said he's in. I think I'm sure each airport has got a restricted transit zone. Right. Most international airports do. Within that area, you can live there, and it's not officially in any country.
Right. I know he's no longer got a passport, and he's moving around on refugee documents on a refugee passport.
Asylum.
Asylum. That has been issued by Ecuador.
Yeah.
Barry Obama, he's basically fought that right off, hasn't he? He said we're not interested in that. But as far as we're concerned, his passport's been revoked. Yeah. Will he make it to Ecuador? And then Cuba, which is going to be his final destination, which is ironic because it's going to be 90 miles away from the fucking mainland of America.
I think the main thing is with it is that right now Russia will not stop him from leaving. I know that. No way.
Is it just a government propaganda now? Just to say, sorry, America, but we're not getting involved. It's your rules.
I would say it is a bit, but I think one of the main things behind it is that so far every country he's been in has benefited massively from what he said. Especially China. China was obviously always going to let him go because obviously he released the files saying that America had been hacking China's text messaging.
Did he?
Yeah, it was an official file. A big fucking file. You can find it out there. It's like fucking 10,000 pages.
Really?
But, he had official proof.
Didn't know that.
He had official proof. The PRISM program, which is obviously part of this fucking. What's his name? That general, is it Keith Alexander?
The new one in America, I don't know. I lost track after Petraeus.
He's the executive of the NSA, and he's like general of the cyber warfare fucking thing. You know, all sorts of stuff.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
But him, he had like official files showing that the respective hacking branch of PRISM had been hacking China, all the Chinese cellnet companies, and downloading en masse text messages, all the text messages. That's
something that every country's doing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's this building in China, or was it Korea? No, it was China that the CIA basically recorded the desktop this was happening from. It was a military operation in a building that wasn't listed as a military complex in China, and basically they were creating email addresses on Google's accounts, and they were using it to hack into American corporations and trying to hack into American government sites, trying to get extract details from them. And what the CIA did, they managed to record exactly everything that was happening on the screen. The fellows moving the mouse, it was just alive. It was a live fucking it was a live fucking feed to his screen, and they traced it back to this building. And they recognised the tactics and the techniques that they were using, and they managed to identify it as this is the Chinese tactics, the Chinese military tactics to hack our infrastructure. Now the Chinese turned around and fucking denied it, which they were going to. But I think we can safely say that all countries, maybe apart from Australia, because they don't give a fuck, are doing this.
Yeah.
So China benefited from Edward Snowden coming out and saying, listen, my country's hacking your country. That's a little bit fucky, isn't it? Well, because China could have said, so fucking what? We're all fucking doing it here. No, get out of my fucking country.
The main thing that he did, though, was he put down rock solid, hard evidence. This is what the PRISM program was doing, is still doing right now, you know. bam, have it, and the Chinese were, quite unhappy about that, and they released statements about it
because it was official.
Because it was official, that's one of the main things. Now I know we all accept that all this shit happens, but as soon as you get hard evidence right there and then, you could, strictly speaking, say right now, officially on paper, America's the worst one out of all of us, because
the evidence is out there. Yeah. What do you think is happening behind the scenes, politically, diplomatically, between these countries? Has China fucking formed as the new, is it Prime Minister or President in China?
President.
Is the President...
I can't remember, actually.
I think it's Premier, isn't it? It's Prime Minister. Has the Prime Minister of China picked up the phone to Barry and said, listen, you motherfucker, stop hacking this country or we are gonna... blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the main things is behind America as well is that the government, especially these days, seems to be just on fucking autopilot. It just seems to be... It doesn't matter what the political agenda is or what's happening at the time. It doesn't matter
what you think.
It just seems to be behind the scenes. The letter gets sent. This gets filed. That next thing, he's fucking charged. No one really, and you keep watching the interviews with the fucking different spokesmen of the respective places, and they're just saying the same thing.
Over and over again.
He was dead bad. He's broke the fucking laws. He's released these secrets and everything. It's like fucking, no one's asking the right questions at all.
What is the right question?
The right question is,
why are you doing it?
Why are you doing it? That's one question.
All right, okay, I'll answer this question.
Is it right that you're doing it?
Why are we doing it? Public safety.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
All right. Is it legal to be doing that?
It's within the spirit of the law.
Yeah. You've got, what benefit does it have?
People aren't dying.
People, it's
they're catching the bad guys. That's all they're going to say. They can spin it any way they want.
Oh yeah. But it's fascinating the way it's all come about. Basically, he's just confirming what everybody already knows anyway. But it's much more refined than the Bradley Manning thing. It's much more.
It's more specific. He's got more evidence. Some papers are trying to spin it that it's not really anything big. Excuse me, that we already know, because I think I don't know whether they're under instruction, whether to just play it down, or whether they think, well, this is just stuff we already know anyway, and he's just putting a signature to what we already know. So it's not really anything that we don't already know what's going on. This is major fucking news. Why is it not? GCHQ are spying on you. Anything you do is not fucking private. Any conversation you have is not private. Any conversation you have with your wife or your fucking girlfriend or your fucking mum and dad, personal, upsetting, romantically involved, anything, fucking business acumen can be spied on. Is that not enough to get you fucking outraged? It's enough to get me outraged.
Well, I think one of the more important things to note from it as well is that, how can I put it? Like I said, that each country's been insofar as benefited from him doing this, if you know what I mean. Let's face facts. It doesn't matter what he's fucking done. Regardless which way America comes out of this now, they're gonna look like the twat. They are, regardless which way they come out of it.
Yeah, but I watched this brilliant clip on YouTube about 6 or 7 months ago, and it was an American guy saying, listen, basically abroad, when you say you're American to a foreigner, they're not really that arsed. The only people who are really arsed abroad is other Americans. When you say, where are you from? I'm from the USA. There's only other Americans who are going to say, well, that's pretty cool. That other people don't really give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So to say that they're going to come out looking a bigger cunt, because of what's going on anyway with the 700 drones they got, basically makes the government, not the American people, basically makes the government look like cunts. Do you know what I mean?
I think they need to start looking at less about how to prevent this from happening again and more about the secrets that they've got in the first place. In the ideal world, that would be fantastic. But they're going to concentrate on the latter to what you just said. It's never going to be, an exact fucking every single thing's out in the open, But
no matter how good the technology is and how secure it is, there's always going to be a human out there who's always going to be able to print it off.
Yep.
I mean, how's he managed to print all this shit off? How's it in paper? Surely now they're going to move away from fucking making paper files, aren't they? It's all going to be digital. There's not going to be USB ports and shit like that. There's going to be no floppy disk drives, obviously. No USB ports, no CD-ROM drives, no access to email systems. So that's probably how they're going to move it, isn't it?
I can't remember what the company's name was that he worked for by the end of it. But like I said, what he basically was 3 or 4 laptops took with him. Apparently, when you worked for this company, you had to give 30 days notice of travel plans.
Okay.
So he didn't make any travel plans. He just did it.
Okay.
So that they wouldn't notice.
So straight away it was a flag.
So he got out, off into Hong Kong, and just went download, 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 download. You know, accessed it all remotely through the fucking laptops that he had. He got it all out, put it to fucking whatever journalists, you know, whatever the fuck it was, and it was fucking just ridiculous amount of documents. And then, obviously, eventually, after so many downloads, that was it. It flagged, shut down, panic, and then it all obviously came out then, didn't it? But I know in the ideal world you could say governments should be transparent. They're never going to be truly transparent. We know that, but they could at least be a bit more transparent than they are now. You know,
they're scared. Are they scared? I don't. Do you know what? I think that's bold. Is that? I think they just don't give a fuck.
No, they
don't. I think they think there's just too many of us anyway. Controlling us is hard enough. So to be completely transparent, is our government transparent?
The more transparent, they are more.
They're compared to who?
Than compared to the US, definitely.
Is that just the British way? Is that because we allow it?
I don't necessarily think it's the British way, but we've got a much more... It's much more difficult in our court systems to get this type of shit going.
Until they privatise it. They are on there was a rumour about... I think it was you sent it to me about 4 months ago that they were thinking about, or at least having a discussion about trying to privatise the courts, the judiciary. Is that right?
No, it was definitely a trial. They were going to be thinking about it at the time.
And how does that work? Did you read anything behind it?
It didn't get reported again after that. So whether or not that would ever go through, I don't know. But it was a very advanced idea. It really was.
The conflict of interest is going to be a motherfucker. So is that literally going to be like a banking corporation or running a court?
Could be anything, couldn't it? You know, if it's privatised, you just don't fucking know. But one of the main things that rings the alarm bells...
Was the minister behind this? Did it have ministerial support?
I can't remember his name. What the fuck was his name?
So there was a minister behind it.
I'm sure there was. I'm sure...
that has got to be... it's got to be pre-organised, this. There has to be an agenda behind privatising the court system and putting the courts in corporations' hand. It's the world is moving towards continuum. The series Continuum is fucking far more factual than what people fucking think. I'm watching it and thinking, this is terrifying, this.
Well, it wasn't that long ago, actually. It was only a month.
No, it's got to be longer than that, sure. This must be the update. This has got to be.
Yeah, could be, wholesale. It would save them £1 billion a year, blah, blah, blah.
So by privatising the court system...
Chris Grayling, Justice Secretary.
What was his words? That he instructed officials this year to explore plans to reform to ensure that the court and tribunal services provide value for money. A massive conflict of interest will be on the cards. I mean, this is stupid, this. Will be on the cards if a bank is fucking running the court. Imagine if you're in financial difficulty. Let's say you have a child, right, and you're paying £700 a month for childcare, and you're unable to, say, make your mortgage payments or your car payments if you got that on a hire purchase, right? So you phone up your bank and say, listen, I can't pay, let's say your loan, for example, or your credit card. Let's say credit card. You can't pay credit card, for example, because you need to pay childcare, and they say you go through all the process about making minimum payments and say, right, we're going to have to go to court. You go to court, and that particular court is run by the bank that you owe money to. What they're going to say? Well, in fact, fuck it, you're just going to have to give up work and live off the fucking social.
Like it says there, one of the main discussions was all 20,000 court staff would transfer to the private sector. It would not involve judges or magistrates. But obviously, it would be so difficult to have a completely privatised court system and then have a non-privatised judge and magistrates.
What do you mean by court system? Like clerks of the court and things like that? Guards?
It'd be all your clerks, all your people who handle all the documents.
Right.
You know, fucking straight away then you
like they want to do to the NHS.
Yeah, you know, fucking no way. The court one, when they were on about privatising the courts, that just fucking rung alarm bells to me. I didn't want to go.
I don't know what's worth privatising the courts or privatising NHS. I really don't know what would be worth. I think they both would be as bad as each other.
I think the privatising the NHS would be the lesser of two evils, only slightly. Definitely, lesser of two evils, privatising the NHS.
I can't understand why the NSA subcontracted that out the work to basically civilians under the guise of working for the NSA. That's ridiculous. I think that was one of the biggest fucking arguments to come up, wasn't it? That the NSA, okay, we know we're doing it, but why are you giving an external company who aren't government? They might be funded by the government, but they aren't. They do not have a crest to say that we are the government, an elected government of the people, and we are doing this work. They're fucking civilians, aren't they? They're not even civil servants.
I know they've got. Obviously, there are certain fucking checks that they do. Obviously they have that many private companies that work for the government, the American government. There's probably fucking hundreds of the fuckers. Yeah. Different ones that do different jobs.
So the NSA were paying this company then?
Yeah, if they were contracting them, just like they do. Don't forget, they contract all sorts, don't they?
Why would they do that? Why don't they just call it another branch of the NSA? Why would they fucking give it to a private company? Why didn't they just set up a different branch of the NSA?
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be tolerated. We're not saying we'll tolerate it, or the people would tolerate it, but to be able to tolerate it a little bit more than basically fucking B&Q going through your fucking details.
But one of the main things that you take from it as well is that if this is one company, there'll be other companies, and there's companies out there that have got security clearance within the government of America. If you know what I mean, that fucking, don't get me wrong. Actually, we're probably just as bad people at it ourselves. I suspect. But I know that the company that he worked for the last 3 months of his career, so to speak, said that, what was it? I'm sure they said that when they first took him on from the NSA, that when they did security checks on him, certain things flagged up.
What, like
certain qualifications didn't add up, or
so what, they're trying to tarnish his record now? Is that what they're saying? They're saying this after they employed him, it's a smear campaign.
They still fucking took him on, though.
This is a smear. That's just a smear campaign. They're probably going to look back at all the communications he's ever had, and anything bad that they've ever said. This is something else that's coming out now. When they're using the tools to record people and extract data and information from people, like for example, they can also look at what things you purchase on your credit cards and things like that. When they look back, let's say you all of a sudden do something which is slightly suspicious, they can look back over, let's say, the last 10 years, let's say your credit card bills and what you've watched on TV and people you've been speaking to and in the contacts you've been speaking to, and they can put them together and put it in whatever context they want to, and say, well, we've looked back over the last 10 years, look, he bought fertiliser for his garden, that could really be for bonds, when really, you just bought it because you wanted it in your fucking garden, so they can demonise you however you want because of what you've done in your past.
Facebook can fucking do that. Fucking hell. You search for a fucking dildo on Google, and the next thing you've got fucking dildo adverts the next fucking day.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Scratching your head there, thinking, how do they fucking know?
Yeah. One of the lads, he was watching cowgirl porn. Like barn girls, like the 21-year-old all-American Texas girl. And
I know what you mean.
Fucking on his Facebook the next day, there was fucking stuff to do with like cowgirl outfits and cowboy outfits. On Facebook, it's been tracking him like a motherfucker.
You see,
that's annoying as shit. That is.
When we were, when me and Kayla first said that we were going to get married and shit, all we did was search for wedding stuff for a month. For a month solid.
Yeah.
And then, as soon as we fucking did that was it. Opened the fucking floodgates. Still on my Facebook now. I still get asked if you want to buy wedding rings and buy the fuck off. That's
horrible that they're tracking you, isn't it?
Is
that agreement with Google, the search engine?
It's agreement with the fucking all sorts. It's their own as well.
So they're just tracking you.
Yeah, well, it's all fucking integrated, isn't it? You fucking search something now, and you can guarantee your adverts on all the websites all over the fucking place. If I searched whatever now, each website I go on, if you've got any type of Google ads or Amazon ads or whatever, they're all fucking linked and
relevant. Yeah.
You get a relevant ad, which theoretically, it is a good fucking idea for somebody.
But you're going to see it popping up now. You see it popping up now in your computer games.
I know.
On the next generation of consoles, you can guarantee you'll be driving along on say, the Grand Theft Auto, and you go past the fucking advertisement for, like, wedding shops or something like that. They're going to be able to subliminally put them in there.
I know.
It is a clever tactic, isn't it? But it's still a little bit shitty that you can't fucking do what you want.
That's like your entry level. That's like your entry level fucking
hacking.
Violation shit. You know. Well, then it goes upwards and up. Onwards and upwards. When you've got fucking things like you go to the fucking airport, you're getting arrested in your own house because of something you said on Twitter. Now, don't get me wrong. If you've gone on fucking Twitter and gone fucking, I'm gonna murder that twat who lives at number 3 Joe Bloggs Road.
If he doesn't keep the fucking noise down.
Fair enough. Maybe you should fucking get a caution for that. But it's all in context, isn't it?
I'll tell you what though, I can remember in the 80s when I was fucking smashing windows and being a cunt. I can remember my mother turning around and saying to me, if you don't stop that, I'm going to fucking knock 7 bells of shit out of you. She never knocked 7 bells of shit out of me. It was just a fucking phrase, wasn't it? I'm going to knock you into fucking next week. I'm going to hit you that hard. You're going to wake up in the middle of next week. Do you know what I mean? You can't say shit like that anymore, can you?
But I'm sure I read the fucking article the other day, but the exact reading in the article was, years ago it used to happen a certain way, and he just basically said in the article flat out, it was actually that whistleblower who released the Vietnam fucking documents about them killing all sorts of Vietnamese and families.
Using Agent Orange and all that bullshit, the Gulf of Tonkin and all that shit.
He was one of the main whistleblowers. Now back then though, in 71 I think it was, he was on about that he didn't run, he didn't do anything, he came out with it, he did it, got in the public eye and never fucking left, and he never got done for it, I don't think.
Right.
Now, I think I'm sure he did an interview the other day saying in it, it's a different world now. He said, back then, I managed to do this and do that, and he's a fucking author and everything now. Like,
what's changed?
What
has changed then? Is it public attitudes? Is it personal attitude?
I don't know.
Public opinion?
Have
we
he said,
been designed to not approve this then?
As he said, in his own exact wording, the chances was that if Edward Snowden had gone to his superiors and raised concern that this program was wrong, he'd get fucking so many fucking years in jail. Just like that, bam. Which is,
So they've pushed him to go public instead of going to his managers then?
Yeah.
They don't want to hear that. They know what they're doing. They don't want some fucking specky fucking 29-year-old kid going up to the fucking general or if somebody seeing you up in the agency and going, listen, I've got a real problem with this. Because they're not going to sack you.
I
know. They want to fucking put you in prison because they don't want you to talk about it. Have you seen Bradley Manning now? You've seen... fucking, it looks great. He hasn't fucking seen fucking the light of day.
He's fucking had some good waterboarding done on him, hasn't he? But... like, your main thing behind it as well is, like, that fucking moon's fucking sending me white air. Watching that rise, and that's fucking scaring the shit out of me.
The moon is rising fucking terrifyingly
looks like a fucking golden egg coming up over the fucking clouds.
Is that just the cloud moving out the way, is it?
Or is that the tree? I think it's a tree.
What is it?
I'm sure there's trees there. I've only lived there 3 fucking years.
It's the super moon. It's the super moon.
Yeah, the super moon plus day one. But... I think one of the main things as well, like after your Bradley Manning one, I'm sure they said that they put in some kind of system where you needed 2 fucking people to do this and a third fucking fail safe, to access files or whatever. Which technically might actually be a good thing because it means that the next fucking whistleblower at the Bradley Manning level might be somebody much fucking higher up.
Yeah. To release the type of information is going to have to be somebody who, bring more credibility to the story.
I think at the moment, obviously Snowden's a much higher player than Manning. But at the end of the day, it's only going to be one way up, isn't it? Eventually you're going to have higher, and then I think eventually one fucking day someone's going to stand back and go, I think we've got to fucking sort shit out here.
Do you really think they'll work towards that? Do you really think the government are going to get that fucking oppressed by the people that they're going to say, do you know what, enough is enough? You're doing more harm than good. I don't think. I personally...
It might not be our generation, I don't think. But
it might not be in our lifetime. Now we're at a crossroads, right? And we need the catalyst to happen for us to fucking take control. I mean, we've got the numbers. Do you know what I mean?
You're talking about fucking rebellion type shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Well, I think it was Jefferson who said, every generation we need a rebellion. We need a revolution. I'm sure it was Thomas Jefferson who said, every generation we need a revolution. Now, this was somebody who was fucking really high up in power. Was Jefferson, was he ever president?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know much about American fucking history.
Even though we're trying
I'm
to
ignorant. I'm ignorant towards American history.
Thomas Jefferson turned around and said, every generation we need a revolution, and it's one of the most poignant things anybody in history has ever said, because it's so fucking true. Without a revolution, we don't get change.
Yeah.
When people fucking rise up, that is when change comes. We've got the numbers to get out there and do something about it. I mean, it's alright, people are sitting there at home and going, oh, I don't like this, the government shouldn't be doing that, and if I do this and they should do that, I'm not going to buy this and I'm not going to buy that. You can't do that. You need to get up and do something. You need to get up and you need to do a podcast, talk about it. You need to upload stuff onto YouTube. Maybe 10 people might see it, tomorrow 100 people might see it, but your voice is getting out there to say, we do not agree what is fucking going on. This is your opportunity now. You're not going to be able to bring change about if you sit there and do fucking nothing. I mean, is that what's going to happen? Are we just going to sit, even though we're doing this podcast now and we're talking about it, we're not saying that we're going to rise up, we want everybody to meet us in London town, we're going to wear the anonymous masks, and we're going to mark up to Parliament, and we're going to say, we do not agree with GCHQ. We're not doing that. How far away are we? Well, are we that ignorant and that fucking set in our ways now that we'd rather sit at home eating our fucking genetically modified food, maybe having a couple of knocks out, knocking fuck out your missus in the bedroom and all that bollocks? Are we just that set inclined that we're just not going to do anything about it? What, do we need a good fucking catalyst?
Don't know. Fucking
Privatising the NHS. Will that bring you to the streets?
privatising the NHS would fucking cause a lot of shit.
Would that take you to the streets? It would take me to the
Would
streets.
it take me to the streets? I don't know.
Would you not march?
It depends on fucking specifics at the time. But
Okay, right. This is it, right? The scrapping the national insurance. Everybody in the UK is required to have insurance, like in America. And if you do not have insurance, you cannot go to hospital and get treated. If you walk into a hospital with a broken hand and you do not have insurance, you will not get treated, and you will be stuck with a broken limb. And it's going to cost you $30,000 to get that arm repaired. Like I was speaking to Izzy Rock on Twitter months and months ago, and he said we was talking about the price of fuel, and he was saying like for a litre of fuel in America, I think it was around $5 a gallon, something like that. I may not be quoting it right, and I said, well, it's equivalent to $9 over here. I know our litres of fuel, I know our gallons are a little bit more than the American gallons, aren't they?
Yep.
So I said it was like $9-10 over there, and he said, you know what? That's absolutely fucking scandalous. If that was over there, it would be uproar. Yeah. And then he like put that, but you do have a good like healthcare system over there. If I went in with like appendicitis or a broken arm, it could cost me anything up to like $30,000. Imagine that, getting really sick, going into a hospital and fucking coming out with a $30,000 bill. Why would you want to do that to somebody?
Like, one of the main things as well is there's fucking many fucking cases in America of people having to remortgage the house, remortgage this, refinance this, refinance that, because like they got cancer, and it's either.
Is that because they don't have the right policy?
No, I know. I don't have a fucking clue what the specifics are on Obamacare, as they fucking call it. I know what they're on about that his Obamacare though might fucking backfire. It might push price of health insurance up.
I wonder how much they're paying.
I'm sure your average American has got to pay about $6,000 a year to have a decent enough health insurance. Now, obviously, your main things over there is everything's fucking privatised, isn't it? Their entire fucking healthcare systems, their entire that's fucking coming, isn't it? Yeah. Their entire healthcare system is fucking privatised, as far as I know. From fucking,
you shouldn't have different levels of healthcare. I mean, we are so lucky. I mean, how much? Yeah, I'll tell you exactly how much I pay now per week. National insurance.
It'll be about £40, won't it?
A week? No, I'm not on about tax. See, I used to think
it'll be about £40. National
I used
insurance.
to think that tax used to fucking cover my hospital bills, but it isn't. It's my national insurance. People in this country, if you aren't working and you're not paying a national insurance, in this country, we have something that's called the job centre, and you have job seekers allowance, and if you're not working, you have something what's called stamp, and if you're not working, the government pays your stamp duty, right? I'm not talking about houses now or anything like that. The government pays your stamp duty, so you're still entitled to healthcare. So let's say you've been on the dole all your life and you've never worked a day in your life legally, you're still going to be able to get healthcare, right? Now per week at national insurance, I pay £40 a week.
Oh, what a guess.
It's £40 and 7 pence a week. That's how much I pay national insurance, right? I don't have to pay that out of my wages, right? So I never see that automatically out of my wages. £40 comes out. So what I earn before tax obviously is going to be a much higher figure than what I earn after the tax is gone, but I don't necessarily miss that £40 because I've never had it in my wage at all. But the thing is, I get the same amount of fucking care as somebody who's paying £10,000 a week national insurance. How does the national insurance work? How is it a percentage of your wages?
It's 12% of your wages up to £50,000 a year, and then after that it's 2%.
Oh, is it? So that's even better, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So people can be paying, I don't know, so people could be paying 500% more than what I'm paying a week national insurance, and I'm still entitled to the same level of fucking healthcare as what they are. That is the good thing about it. Is it sustainable? I don't know. Can they make savings? Probably. Should they privatise it? Absolutely fucking not.
One of your main things as well to think about as well is that's £40 a week. So you're paying about $3,000 a year, roughly.
Yeah, it's about It's about £2,000 a year. £2,000.
So it's $3,000. Yeah, current exchange rate's just over. But that's not only. I wonder what percentage that is the NHS funding.
See, what you got to remember though is
that's paying for your national pension as well, isn't it?
Yeah. What you got to remember is though, ladies and gentlemen, I am not missing that money because it's not something that whenever I get my fucking wage slips,
there's no option, is there?
Yeah, there is. You can opt out of you can in this country you can opt out of national insurance if you decide not to pay it, but then you've got to pay for your own healthcare and your own pension, right? But when I get my wages, I never look at my top line. Right, I always look at my bottom line. I know every week how much I'm going to have to myself, and I happily know that I can walk into a fucking hospital and I can get any fucking treatment. I can go to my GP and I can say, listen, I've got this and up with me, and I want this and this sorting. And a couple of years ago, the doctors were fine about that. I'm sure now they've got to make savings and they're more scrupulous about who they're sending to get certain procedures done because it might not be life-threatening and things like that.
I think as well though, I'm sure I read up on it the other month that if you go into your doctor so many times and you demand it so many times, he's got to fucking send you. He's got to send you those.
That's great, that.
Because he's working for you, if you know what I mean.
All you've got to say in this country as well is one of Mrs. Burrows' friends, she's got what's called a lipoma, and a lipoma basically is a non-aggressive type of tumour. Its generic term is a tumour, right? But it's a lipoma. It's not cancerous. Yeah. And she went to the doctors, and it was only a little fucking lump, right? And the doctor said to her, well, it's only a little lump, it's not really doing any harm to you. And she said to him, it's affecting my mental health, and it's affecting my sex life at home. You need to get it cut out. And because she said the words, it's affecting my mental health, it then becomes, is she going to be statistic to top herself? So then he's got a duty of care to fucking refer her onto the ward. And he did. She got it done. Just quickly, my niece, before we got married, she was one of the bridesmaids, right? My niece is at the time was 21, right, and she's got no boobs at all, right, and she wanted a boob job. So she heard of one of her friends that if she goes to the doctors and say it's depressing her and getting her down, they can get a boob job on the NHS. And it's true. If you got depression because your tits are that fucking small, they'll pay for the tit job. And then every 5 years or 10 years after that, they'll pay $5,000 and get you a fucking tit job for free. She didn't go through with it. Fuck.
But for the NHS generally in this country, it is fucking good. It really is. Not only that, it's voted one of the, not voted, but statistically around the world, it's one of the most effective healthcare systems in the world. Yeah. And it's one of the cheapest as well.
Really?
At the same time.
What's this about trying to roll it out then in New York? Not New York, China. China wants to take on the same type of system of what we've got over here.
China want to roll out a similar, because it's right up their fucking street, isn't it? National, you know. Yeah. Chinese owned, it's right up their street. And they want to roll out something similar, and they have actually officially asked the British government to help them, to show them, you know.
It gets slated though, doesn't it? A lot of American, what's the word now, spin doctors say that the NHS is failing and it's dirty and it's dangerous operations and all that.
Yeah, but
some of the best specialists in the world.
Have you ever seen some of the American adverts though? No. They have adverts for fucking everything. They fucking scream at you. They fucking shove that opinion down your throat. It's fucking going down.
I mean, a lot of patients in the UK do get sent to America for particular types of cancer care, because in this country, certain types of cancer treatment isn't legal. Yeah. And in America they are. And everybody who goes over there always say that the treatment that they get is first class, and I don't know anybody who's come back and it's failed. So that is one of our downfalls in this country, where we have, I don't know, it's moral. I don't know whether it's moral obligations where we don't want to fuck about with a certain gene.
Yeah.
So we're okay sending it out the country, and to pay for that, sometimes it's $250,000.
That's what I mean. It is expensive. Yeah. Now, obviously, that's why over there you may arguably, depending on the price as well, you may arguably have a much more expensive operation over there for a better operation. Arguably. But obviously it's more expensive. Now obviously it will be because it's fucking privatised over there, and a lot of people over there earn a lot more fucking money than some of ours do. Especially doctors, surgeons.
Oh no, I know. I think I can't remember one of the. I think it was me and you were talking about nurses salaries, and I was looking at just a normal nurse is on like $32,000, an entry level nurse. That's fucking crazy. Now, what's that work out? About £22,000.
Yeah,
which is the same as us, though, isn't it?
It's swings and roundabouts things, but I know you get entry level nurses over here. While they're not taking home as much money, they're getting the education for free. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, and you get a £500 bursary. And if you have a family,
and under current prices, that's a lot of fucking money that they're getting for free. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying that nurses are paid too much or all that shit. But
they aren't guaranteed a job though at the end of the day.
No. But I'm sure that over here you might be earning only about £6,000-7,000 or $11,000 a year take home, but you will be getting $15,000 worth of education paid for. You won't have that is a good thing. If you know what I mean.
You get certain benefits, travel and council tax.
So if you're training to be a nurse over here, you are technically on more money than your American counterpart. Yeah. But as soon as you go into the real game, you are on shit money compared to them. Especially when they have nurses that go well up to the six figures very quickly. Saying that, we have some of our own equivalent that go to fucking stupid desk jockeys.
Well, there's a role in the NHS called a chief nurse, right? And she's on £250,000, I don't know whether she's still there now, but she's on £250,000, and she's classed as a teach nurse. She isn't clinical, she isn't hands-on, but official title is chief nurse.
Yeah. Now, still, at the moment, the NHS is a very proud thing. A lot of British people are very proud of the NHS.
The Prime Minister's behind it. He said that his son, has he got autism or something like that? Is he autistic or multiple sclerosis?
Multiple sclerosis. I don't think he's autistic. I think he's got multiple sclerosis.
And he said that his treatment's been on the NHS, and he knows how important it is to the British people. I bought that he doesn't want to touch it, but fucking Andrew Langsley, the former health secretary, he was looking at that like a fucking motherfucker.
One of your main things though with Cameron is that while I have faith in Cameron and his policies, do I have faith in his party?
Do you have faith in what are his policies?
Well, I mean, I have faith that he wants to back up all his policies and his promises and all this shit. But as his party's shown, he might make a decision and say, I want to do that. And his party goes, no.
Can you give us an example?
Well, you had let's go down the phone hacking scandal. That's a good one. When they wanted to bring out the statute law on news or whatever, Cameron did not want to touch it. He did not want to pass any fucking law. He wanted it to be self-regulated.
Yeah, freedom of the press,
all that shit. And because his party didn't want it, and because his party rebelled against him, it had to go to a Commons vote. The Commons ended up voting for a compromise, so it's a part law. I think it's a royal statute. Something like that.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's a halfway. It's halfway to regulating the press.
And what is it? The Crown's over the press now, or something like that. But the Crown doesn't have any. Won't ever get involved in it.
And obviously now it's still not even been fully passed yet. Anyway, but
where are we up to?
I think it's in the Lords. I think it's going through some other fucking stupid.
Is it?
Stupid. Well, you know what the Lords like. They've got to fucking vote 3 times, and 1/3 of them have got Alzheimer's by then. So you've got to fucking re-vote it because they're fucking all falling asleep in the fucking chairs.
Yeah, it's funny that the Parliament wanted to reform Lords, and Lords had to vote on it.
I know.
The Lords went, do you know what? You're not. You're not going to reform us. We're going to vote no. You want to do what? You want to give us less people getting paid? Nah, sorry, love. Sorry about that.
But with that one, that's just a good example that Cameron, his official promise was, we want a free press, we don't want this, we don't want that, blah, blah, blah. But, obviously, which is quite right, in theory, for a democracy, is that his own parliament, the whole parliament as a whole, rebelled against that, and in the end, it got passed against what he wanted. But that's my specific point: is that Cameron might want something. Cameron might want to protect the NHS. What does all of Parliament want? No, that's one of the main problems. If all of if a majority,
what's your guess?
I think at the moment anybody with the head screwed on wouldn't touch the NHS with a fucking barge pole. But
it'll bring us on the streets. I'm telling you now, mate. If they do the NHS, that will put me on the streets. That I'm telling you tomorrow. Fucking. If they say we're privatising the NHS, and I used to think I was alone on this, but I'm not. There's so many fucking, not extremists, what's the word? Anarchists out there that will fucking drum this up like a motherfucker. Yeah. There'd be doctors, and there'd be nurses, and there'd be fucking aristocrats, and there'd be the common man, and there'd be the wealthy man, the working man together marching. In our millions, 1 million people marched in Great Britain when we went to war in Iraq. 1 million people in Great Britain marched. That is an outstanding number. That to say we do not agree with this. All right, they fucking still went into Iraq, and we're still basically there in some capacity now. But
we're there till April.
So wait, next year. But if they privatise the NHS, I really do think that will bring about fucking 10%, but 10% of the UK out on the streets, and we'll be that angry. I do think people will just start fucking shit up.
Yeah.
I think they'll picket the train lines, they'll picket the public services, they'll picket the fucking fuel pumps, they'll picket fucking nobody will be able to drive around on the motorways, the lorry drivers will be out, the ambulance drivers won't be out. I'm saying that though, you sent me another fucking link on the Times the other day about doctors and consultants are considering we pay
top up NHS
fees. Yeah. So certain procedures you would have to pay for. That can't work. That's like a fucking gateway into privatisation.
They haven't said what procedures yet, but as the article stated, was that there's a massive amount of concern out there that would be the gateway to a multi-tier system with the NHS. So basically, you are a poor person, you get all this healthcare for free, but this stuff is, you got to pay some money. So only rich people can get this, and that's when it starts. That's when you end up on the American route.
Do we know if the argument is obese and people who are smokers? Is that what they're targeting at? Because we know at the moment obesity in the UK is costing the NHS £2 billion a year, expecting to rise to 5 by 2025. £5 billion, which is working out about 1%, not 1%, 5.5% of the budget, something like that. Should they have to pay? Should fat fucks have to pay?
They've not made any specifics about what the policy was going to be, if you know what I mean.
Would that be the route they'd be going down though? Self-inflicted shit?
I think that would be the route they'd advertise. But,
do you agree with that?
No.
Why?
Well,
obesity is a massive fucking drain. Is obesity an illness?
No.
Is it not?
No, I don't think it is, personally.
Is it a disease?
No.
Right. So it's self-inflicted.
Yeah.
I know some I'm sure Holton, if you're obese, they give you free gym memberships.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm sure. If you're obese or you're depressed as well, because they don't want to put you on medication. Another great thing in the UK, even though in England we got to pay for our prescriptions. Get this, rest of the world. Ireland, Wales and Scotland, if you need to pick up a prescription, they're free. You get medication for free. Imagine that. Can you imagine that?
What do we have to pay for our prescriptions now? Is it 14 quid? Something like that?
No, each one item is £7.63. Right. It goes up 10% every fucking year. Guaranteed 10%, 10% every year. But they want to scrap that. Can you imagine that, ladies and gentlemen? You get your pills and your antibiotics and your medicine for free. The only thing that's dangerous of is you're gonna get a fucking society where they might all be on pills because they don't have to pay for it. Do you know what I mean?
But now, going down the route, like let's say for example, all stuff for people who smoke. But how do you truly say that what you've got is wrong with you is smoking related?
Contributed by smoking.
There are a couple of things.
Lung cancer.
But more often than not, lung cancer though.
Emphysema.
Lung cancer though isn't actually caused by smoking. Lung cancer is, the chances of it is increased by smoking.
Right.
Increased a lot, but It does not actually cause.
My grandfather died of lung cancer, right? My mother's father, he died of lung cancer, right? And he had not smoked a cigarette for 40 years. Now, they say after 10 years of you giving up smoking, all damage that is caused by cigarettes, no matter how long you smoked and how long you smoked for, is completely is reversed and repaired. So you couldn't link that to his smoking. And people do develop it who've never contracted
That's
it
what I
before.
mean. So that one's thrown out then, isn't it? How do you truly say what you've got wrong with you is caused by smoking?
So they're going to target the fatties, aren't they?
Well, that's one of the main things. Then you've got the other side of it, which is if you bring in a 2-tier system on these specific operations for being a fat twat, basically.
Don't hold any punches.
I don't like fat people. But if you brought that in, then how do you truly say, what if them operations?
You're fat and you're fucked.
What operations would it be?
Gastric bands.
And then, but arguably there are people out there who might get a gastric band, not necessarily because they're obese, but for other reasons.
What, like?
I can't remember what they are. What are they?
The other reason to get a gastric band isn't to lose
No,
fucking weight.
I don't mean that. I mean, the certain people obviously have serious issues, as in not just being a fat bastard and wanting to eat everything. I'm going that way myself, but there are certain people who might have an official, problem, and I don't mean as in, I've got the fat gene, I mean as in somebody who might
got a slow metabolism.
It's just somebody who like literally loses the plot, completely loses the plot and fucking over the space of 5 years eats everything,
Right.
Serious psychological shit.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
How would you tackle something like that then?
So you're going down the psychological route then, aren't you? Saying that they obviously need extra counselling. But is it right then to restrict them of the help that they need?
No, well, that's what I mean.
No, it is a fucking fine line to walk, isn't it? When you start dicing with that shit. I hope it never comes.
To be honest with you, I think regardless of how much it ended up costing, it wouldn't matter, because if it ended up costing such a massive amount that they'd have to increase costs for it, I think by then they'd have to bring something out, some kind of fucking scheme out to stop people from being fucking fat twats.
I mean, what's the problem with obesity at the moment, right? Apart from the fact that the nation's getting fatter, I can't remember the actual figures, but there's a high percentage of the UK now that are classed as clinically obese, right? And that's worked out on BMI as well. So even though they might not look obese, the BMI turns around and says, well, clinically, you're registered as obese, right? The knock-on effects of that is they've had to reinforce ambulances, haven't they? Yep. They've had to reinforce certain stretchers. They've had to reinforce certain beds. MRI machines, yeah. Fire brigade now have got a health and safety issue when they're trying to carry people out on stretchers and all that, because you can injure other people. They're fucking having to knock down, on rare occasions, they're having to knock down walls and basically they're calling it a harness. It's not a harness, it's a fucking crane to lift people out and get into reinforced vehicles. So the NHS are having to invest across the board. They don't just have like fat beds. It's like every bed now has to be extra reinforced just in case that they have to put somebody in it, because in the NHS a bed is a bed is a bed is a bed. Do you know what I mean? A bed is basically has got a pound sign over
an
it.
Asset.
It's an asset, exactly. Yeah. As soon as that gets filled, the penny starts adding up. So they've had to do it across the board and all the fucking beds at the moment. I mean, what else comes from fucking obesity? Then you got diabetes, haven't you? So is that putting a strain on producing insulin?
Well,
I know it's a natural thing that the body survives, but are you putting more strain on the fucking on the insulin?
I think with obesity, it's like the triple whammy of everything, isn't it? You've got fucking heart, you've got heart disease, diabetes, fucking being generally fucking fat anyway, breathing difficulties, fucking all the arteries clogging up,
bad feet as well.
Strokes. You've got everything, haven't you?
It affects a lot of people's knees as well, so it's not just the
Can I have
fact...
one of them cans?
Yeah, it's not just the fact that that's what I brought around here for. It's not just the fact that you need the gas stick band. It's all the additional things that come with it as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, I hope that the day doesn't come when I'm dead fucking fat, if you know what I mean. You know, each time I've fucking whacked weight on, I've managed to lose it now. At the moment, I'm on a bit of a slow one. I've had to wait now for a year, like, because I'm lazy, but... I'm going to have to lose it for the wedding. I've got to lose it for the wedding.
I did. I lost a stone for the wedding. I played football twice a week and I was eating healthily.
Well, I've not been eating
That's
healthily.
soccer to our American viewers.
For about a year and a half, I've not been eating healthy at all.
Well, you've tried though, mate. You have tried. You have brought the shit into work, but you just ordered a takeaway.
I know. But when it comes to it, I know I can do it, if you know what I mean. And I know that last time it only took me, if you remember, it only took me 2 months last time. You know.
Problem is, though, mate, food's delicious.
I know. It depends what food is. And that Mackey's I had before was fucking... I know I'm not fucking giving any faith to the fucking viewers here about my...
diet.
But yeah, my diet, fucking, McDonald's, Coke, fudge cake. I've got half a fudge cake downstairs.
£7 fudge cake.
But...
That's weight, not cost.
I remember last time I lost fucking 3.5 stone in about 3 months.
That's
when I
really
did it.
good, man.
But obviously I really worked for that. I know I could do it again. But at the moment, I just can't be arsed.
I noticed there's a lot of dust on your treadmill.
Yeah,
that thing's not turned on for a fucking while, isn't it?
I know.
Didn't know you had the treadmill, mate. I wouldn't mind a fucking couple of goals on that.
It's one of them fucking self-powered ones, no electricity in it. You got to push it yourself.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucking really hard. 10 degree gradient. With a 10 degree gradient on that, it's something like 25% harder than actually running outside. That's why I set it up like that.
Can you set it up any other way?
No, there's no electricity supply to it. Fuck all.
How much was that?
It was free. I got it off a fucking relative, I think it was.
Did you?
Yeah.
That sounds like the worst treadmill ever to fucking grace the land. I would want a fucking proper treadmill, mate. We are spoiled, aren't we? We do have many freedoms. We have got the freedom to fucking binge out and get fat. I mean, there's some countries, mate, where they don't have that fucking luxury, do we? Is that what we sacrifice?
Fat by starving.
Yeah, that's true. Is that what we sacrifice by letting everybody fucking spy on us? Because we've got such a comfortable lifestyle at the moment, we could fuck it. I'm going out to get me fucking burger. I'm going to go out, get me burger. The government could spy on me if they want, because I'm not doing anything wrong, and I'm just going to live my life exactly how I want to be it. On saying that, though, there was many years ago, a school got in touch with the social services because a young girl of 5 years of age was. They had like, I don't know, the shit where they come round and weigh you and all that bullshit in school. She was only 5 and they classed her as obese, right? She wasn't fat, she was just tall for her age, do you know what I mean? And a BMI put her in the overweight category. She looked like a normal 5-year-old fucking girl, and they contacted social fucking services. That is fucking hypocrisy gone fucking mad.
Have you ever actually fucking typed shit in on the BMI things?
No.
I bet you any money you'd be obese on it. I bet you.
That medical that we had in work last April or whatever it was, I was 3% underweight. Because of my height and my weight, I was 3% underweight. And I said to the guy, I put on 3 stone additionally, and he worked it all out, and he measured me twice, and he come back and he said, your BMI is 27%, and you should be 30% body fat. I looked at him and said, are you fucking joking? He said, no, because of your height, you're 3% underweight. Fucking hell, I don't want to put on 3% more body fat.
You see, I know I'm high up there on the BMI thing at the moment.
How tall are you?
6.
I'm 6 though.
6 foot. But I'm a bit heavier than you though.
Come, we're all just a couple of ladies chatting here. What are you rocking in at the moment?
I'm currently £238 right now.
What's that in old money?
In old money, that is 107 kilograms.
That means fuck all to me. What is it in British stones and pounds? Fucking pounds.
17 stone 4, 17 stone 3.
Well, you're under 18 stone, aren't you? And what am I? I was 16 and I'm 15.5 now, something like that. My ideal weight is, I look best when I was 12.5 stone.
I was when I lost all that weight, I was down to 12 then.
Was you? It fucking dropped off you like that. I can remember lately you going off shift and coming back in, and I had like a week off, and you come back in, and I fucking couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I was fucking doing really well then. Weights wise and everything, I was fucking having a right fucking laugh.
When you get in though off a 12-hour shift and you've been up since 5 o'clock in the morning, the last thing you want to do after you get in, it's like 6:30 at night. You want to have a shower, you want to have something to eat, fucking wind down for a bit, and then before you know it, it's 8 o'clock and you're fucking knackered, and then you got to start running and all that, and then it's 10 o'clock and you haven't had fucking hell.
See, I can do it quite well, but I've got to make sure the second I'm in this fucking house,
You start doing
I'm
shit.
doing it. I'm doing it first.
Was you eating stuff beforehand, though, to give yourself, like, the protein and the energy to work out?
More often than not, if I was doing a workout, I'd eat 2 bananas half an hour before. That was it.
2 bananas, a lot of energy.
2 bananas, bam, workout. Usually about an hour.
And that's all you needed was 2 bananas. It fucking worked, though. You lost 3.5 stone. Like.
Yeah, but I could eat a fucking horse afterwards, though. And I usually would. But one of the main things for me was to try and eat as much lean stuff as possible. You know, lean chicken, lean beef, lean...
You're not a fan of the Atkins
everything.
diet, then, no?
No, definitely not. Like, now you see, one of the main things is, at the moment, now I'm back on the diet now, after my festival, minus the fudge cake downstairs, but it was my birthday last week. I'm back on the diet now, like today, in work, I had a proper portion of Crunchy Nut cornflakes, you know, 35 grams, you know, like it says on the box, about that much fucking cereal for all the fucking viewers. I had that at 6 o'clock when I got in work. 9 o'clock I had a banana and a little cake bar. 12 o'clock I had a piece of chicken with sweet corn, peas and carrots.
Good. It sounds good.
With a bit of gravy. 3 o'clock I had soup, 2 pieces of bread.
Nah, bread, let you down there, mate. Let you down.
Then it was going to be, we're going to have homemade pizza with garlic bread. But then I kind of went McDonald's, which was a big tasty as well. So it's like 1,000 calories with the burger on alone.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever. Technically, actually, I'm still under it today. Probably not now that I've had a can of Coke, which probably got fucking God knows what in it.
God bless fucking Coca-Cola. I know it was one of the most fucking horrible things in the world for you to drink because of the amount of sugar in there, but it's fucking delicious when you have it with a meal. It tastes fantastic. When you have it with a meal, it tastes absolutely fantastic.
When it's fucking boiling and you get a cold one.
Yeah.
See, I've read statistics that have said that Diet Coke is worse for you than Coke. You know,
yeah, your body automatically produces the sugar that you're missing.
Yeah.
And the problem is with Coke is all the additional shit that's inside it. Have you ever left a can of Coke or pulled a can of Coke on like an old penny? That penny comes out shining like a motherfucker.
It's acidic as fuck. I do. To be honest with you, I think I do actually have a bit of a problem with fizzy pop. I think I do. I think I drink
water, man.
I think I drink far too much fizzy pop. When I lost all that weight, I wasn't touching fizzy pop at all.
That's my 3rd litre of water a day.
I was drinking just water at the time.
3rd litre of water a day is great for the metabolism. You know, it kicks off that metabolism like a motherfucker. In the morning, I wake up, I have a bowl of cereal and I drink a pint of water, and my fucking metabolism is going like a motherfucker. I truly believe if I wasn't drinking the 2 litres of water a day, I'd be at least 18 stone now.
How do we get from fucking government spying on to being fat?
I don't know, mate. Are you free, Deck? Do you feel free?
Yes. At the moment.
Even though all the fuckery that's going on in the world today.
Yeah.
Will Edward Snowden get assassinated?
No.
Will he make it to Cuba?
It depends, really. It depends if he's actually... I know Putin said he's still in Russia, but...
Why is he in Russia then? Is he there under arrest? Are the Russians trying to extort as much information as possible from him? Because they're going to be there.
No.
Do you not think so?
He,
Wait for the security, the security services, surely that they're going to be trying to tear him apart like a motherfucker?
Well, they've said, haven't they, that allegedly they're supposed to have picked him apart already. Whether or not he has...
Russians?
Yeah, whether or not he has, I don't know, but... If he's in... supposedly, if he's in the transit part of the airport, the Russians can't do anything officially.
No, it's still Russian soil, isn't it?
Well, it's a fucking complicated one, isn't it? Until I've been in said situation, I don't really know exactly what people are capable of.
And you have been there close a few times.
Yeah, with my fucking massive spy lifestyle.
Yeah. I think that if he does make it to Ecuador and then finally Cuba or whatever his final resting place is going to be, I think there'll be a time where he'll hand himself in. I think there always comes a time. But it happened with Ronnie Biggs. Ronnie Biggs was a great train robber in, I think it was the 70s or early 80s. They robbed a Royal Mail train that was carrying £1.5 million worth.
A lot, yeah.
Of all money, which back in like the was it the 60s or something like that? Or
70s,
the 70s or whatever it was, right? £1.5 million was like the equivalent to like £30 million nowadays. It was a lot of fucking money. A couple of them got caught, a couple of them died, and Ronnie Biggs, he fucked off to Brazil. He lived in Brazil from the age of like his mid to late 20s, well up into his 60s, and he contracted cancer. And he come back to the UK, and as soon as he got off the plane in the United Kingdom, there's no statute of liabilities or limitation or anything like that. He got busted as soon as he was back on the British soil because he was dying. He wanted to be in the UK, so it took a fucking major event for him to come back. But I think no matter how long you're in exile, after all the years have passed and you start getting older, and you've done all the fucking you can, and your dick's dead, and you're there by yourself in a fucking foreign country and it's going to shit, you're going to want to come back. And I think he'll come back. I think he'll break it. He'll miss his lifestyle. I mean, he's obviously thought about all this before he's gone away, hasn't he? He knows what he's going to do. He can't even have nightmares to what could possibly happen to him if he gets incarcerated in America. One, he might have an arsehole like the Mersey Tunnel and be fucked every night. Or, I don't know what's worse, being fucked by Leroy and fucking Julian and fucking Prisoner Cell Block H, or being in solitary confinement in a room that's 6x4 foot wide, no window, bright lights playing fucking. That is terrifying. That's what you don't want to do.
If he manages to get away, I suppose one of the handy things he's got is that he's going to be leading, to a certain degree, a certain amount of freedom.
Yeah. The CIA will go and visit him.
Compared to Bradley Manning, who's probably going to get out when he's about 50.
Is he going to get out? Has he been sentenced? He's not been sentenced yet. He's only now just gone to court, hasn't he?
Yeah,
like
but
a public court.
Yeah,
it's
but
not military court.
Even then, it's not a proper fucking court, though, is it? You know, it's still a whole closed off thing. There's no jury. There's no fucking. I can't remember the exact thing behind it, but it's not. It's one of these specific.
Isn't that a breach of somebody's human rights? Why is it?
The Americans don't need to go. You can't get done for it, although you can do it. We only refer to breaching human rights over here because the EU has a law for human rights. Nowhere else has it. They don't have them. They don't have any. The countries have their own specific law for your rights. You know, not human rights, but your rights itself. But a lot of them have sub clauses that fucking rule it out. Whereas we've got an actual human rights, court of law.
So if let's say somebody from the British military did expose, here's an example for you. There was an SAS sergeant who brought a present back into the UK.
I remember Nightingale.
Which was a weapon that was presented to him by the Iraqi army for services that he did training up the Iraqi army. It shows the Iraqi security force, right? They clubbed together and he was presented at an official ceremony like a sidearm from the Iraqis, right? Now he brought that back into the UK with ammunition and he didn't declare it or hand it in. He just brought it back into the UK. Now that took on a criminal role then because he had a firearm, an unlicensed firearm in the UK with live ammunition. That was a civil criminal offence, that wasn't it? That wasn't a court-martial. If that was in America, would that have went civil, or do you think the fucking DOD or the FBI would have just busted him and all of his fucking rights and Fifth Amendment would have just been scrapped?
Well, if I remember right with him, they did him in a military court, didn't they, at first? And then he appealed it. Then he sub-appealed it again onto another court, didn't he, or something like that? And then he got let off in the end, didn't he?
He did get let off.
But now, they did actually say it a couple of weeks ago, the military court...
Ministry of Defence.
Some fucking sub-court of a sub-court is opening it up again.
Why?
Let's have a look at it. Fuck knows.
I mean, the story behind it as well, he didn't just bring... Alright, he brought the weapon into the country, but apparently he got severe brain trauma, so it affected his mental health as well, didn't it?
Well,
and it gave him blackouts. Whether that's just the angle he's going for or not, I don't know. But that's the official story.
I I remember reading it at the time, like saying that he was having fucking problems with blackouts and mental health problems and all that shit. And I remember thinking to myself, he might just be doing it to get off type of thing. More than likely, in my opinion, he's probably brought it back as you would, because it was a present to you, and he's probably brought it back and then
proud.
He's using, said excuse to try and get off with it. But to me, he's done nothing wrong, because
even though in the eyes of the law, though, he's got live ammunition in your house with it, and it's unlicensed. But you're an SAS soldier. You're trained to be the best of the best in the world. He
doesn't need a fucking pistol. With
no,
fucking
he doesn't
bullets.
need a pistol. And all right, he had kids in his house, but as far as we're led to believe, it was contained. It was in a lockbox, and it was away far out of prying eyes. Like, kids can't just stumble across it. The service that he did for his country, what he's done, God knows what he's done that isn't in the public eye. He's put himself on the line. He's put himself in situations for the Queen, which is basically what you're doing it for, aren't you? For your country, for national security. And because he's got presented a firearm, they're willing to forget all the good that he's done, and they want to criminalise him and put him to jail. That's absolutely fucking scandalous. The guy's a fucking hero. I've seen pictures of his family and him, and it just must be a constant fucking weight over his shoulder. His wife is fit, though.
Well done, Ben. Fucking the last person you want to piss off, fucking SAS fucking officer or whatever.
True.
Fucking next thing you know, you'll be fucking sat there and fucking sneaking the bed and all sorts. But like, in all seriousness, type of thing, it's one of them things, isn't it, of the law ploughing on regardless, autopilot, the same fucking thing.
Well, why did he get let off with it last time? Was it because of his military record, or did they just look at him? Because they couldn't say, he's not guilty, he didn't do it.
He got sent down for it, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And he failed in the appeal court. Then obviously his missus got support up, and then it all came out in the public eye, and then it got...
That's right, yeah.
It got sent onto a public court then, didn't it? Of appeal.
Did they release it on this diminished responsibility on medical grounds then? Because it was psychological.
I can't remember what it was. They never found him not guilty, but they pardoned him of some sort, or something like that.
Full military discharge and all that.
Yes, so they never officially said, you've not done anything wrong. They officially said, well, we'll let you off,
Really?
It was something along them lines.
I tell you what, though, it would have been somebody somewhere saying, this isn't right, this has broke the law, you need to look at this again. And some fucking liberal has said, well, yeah, he has broke the law, we've got to look at it again. Is he dangerous? Trained? Yeah, he is. Does he want to leave a normal lifestyle? Yes, he does, because he's got a family. What he done is wrong. Don't punish him for it. Don't send an SAS hero to jail after the shit he's done for the fucking country. These things, it's hard, isn't it? Because we live in a democracy. Everybody's got to be treated the same.
But the main thing is that you've got all the respect for all your military personnel, who fight and all the shit that goes with it. I think you've got a next level of respect for SAS officers, though,
no.
Because
I
wonder what the fuck the mortality rate is for being an SAS officer for 10 years like he was. Wonder what the fuck the mortality rate is. I wonder what the percentage is that he should have been dead by then.
It's probably quite low,
I bet it's double figures, though.
Do you think so?
I reckon it's double figures.
I don't think so, because I know there's no amount of training you can do to literally dodge a bullet, but because they don't go around in army fatigues all the time and in a big fucking legion or platoon or anything like that, they literally go around in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gangs of guys carrying out their missions. So it's only when really they get pinned down and targeted that maybe it doesn't get published a lot on the news, doesn't it? When a SAS soldier dies, I don't know whether that's
as far as I know. Unanimously, with most special forces around the world, they die in training exercises. Unanimously, I think it is one of them fucking things. But it'd be interesting to know what the mortality rate is, the SAS. Don't forget, though, one of the main things is that I'm talking about percentage here. There's not exactly loads of the fuckers.
I was just about to say that. I'm sure there's less than 1,000 SAS soldiers.
I'm sure the barracks is something like 800 personnel.
Also, there's an SAS barracks, is there?
Yeah, there's a very...
That's a bit fucking stupid, isn't it? Put them all in one fucking place.
It's not where they are, but it's where they're represented.
Right.
It's where all the plaques are. All the dead SAS soldiers are there.
Right, okay.
Because obviously, not only that, the barracks was officially like their home, if you know what I mean, from when they were set up during World War II and all that shit. Because obviously, people are quite passionate about the SAS anyway, especially over here. You know,
that's who we send in if there's ever any terrorist fucking activity in the UK. I mean, look at the was it 1982 when the Iranian embassy come under siege and they sent in the SAS there to...
It was 82,
yeah, to take control, and that the police lady got shot. The police WPC, a young one, only 23, she got killed in the... I'm sure she was on the streets as well.
I thought that was Libyan, that.
Was it the Libyan embassy? It might have been the Libyan embassy.
I know what you're on about. There was the Libyan embassy, big fuck up, but there was an Iranian embassy one as well that the SAS stormed, and you could see it on live video. I've seen the video of it.
Would that get televised now?
That's a fucking complicated one, that.
Yeah.
It'd depend, wouldn't it, really?
Well, do you remember when Raoul Moat was driving around Newcastle shooting all the cops?
Yeah.
That was televised, wasn't it?
Quite heavily, yeah.
And there was photographs coming out. See, the police
fucking... that police fella, the one who shot him with the taser on the front of the paper like that?
Do you know what's ironic about that? Though? 3 days later, they blurred his face out.
He looked fucking terrifying, him on that picture.
It was in the middle of shouting at somebody to get back, wasn't he? They just got him and he was like...
got him in the worst part. He just looked like a fucking nutter.
I tell you what, that was a mess, that from start to finish, wasn't it? They used a taser that wasn't sanctioned for police force. It was an experimental taser that wasn't given the green light, was it, to use out in public? Like, what's the word now? Not commission it. Yeah, like commission it for operational use. It was still in like the testing stage, and all the fucking cops had it. They actually deployed that taser, you know, and it failed. It failed on him, and then he fucking shot himself. All because of a bird, all because of a fucking woman.
I know, I remember saying that a couple of... the last 5 or so years, there's been a couple of little things like that, hasn't there?
But remember Derek Bird, the taxi driver driving around the Lake District,
Cumbria, yeah.
People were just taking a piss out of him, weren't they?
Yeah.
Joel, there was a chap in the UK called Derek Bird. He was a taxi driver, and basically he just had a fucking nothing life. And in the countryside, a lot of farmers have fucking guns. I know everybody thinks that the UK has got tough gun laws, right? But this is how easy it is to get a gun in the UK. If you have got a clean criminal record, you can apply for a gun license for sporting purposes, not for fucking protection or anything like that. But you can have a shotgun in your house and handguns in your house in a locked cabinet. You get interviewed once a year by the police. They come out to your house and inspect them. Dave Marsh did it as well. Dave Marsh had 3 shotguns in his house.
They actually scrapped the handgun thing after that. Was it Dunblane massacre?
Oh, so you can't have handguns now?
The handgun, you can have like gas pistols, something like that, but you can't have a full handgun now.
Can you not?
It's almost impossible under any law.
Alright, but you can get shotguns, can't you?
Yeah, shotguns are 10 a penny. I know about 5 people with shotguns.
Yeah, that's how easy it is, and a shotgun can do as much damage as a fucking pistol. Alright, it can only hold 2 cartridges, can't it?
Yeah, it's going to fucking blow whoever the hell it was to bits.
Yeah, but you've got a good 9-10 minutes before the fucking 5 are going to turn up. So that's how easy it is. As long as you've got a clean record, you can get a shotgun in the UK. This monster Derek Bird, he was just fed up with life. He was getting the piss took out of him, and it was driving around the countryside, and he was just fucking blowing people away. Now, the part of the countryside where he was driving around is a nuclear power plant, and the nuclear power plants in the UK are protected by nuclear police.
Yeah, nuclear police.
It's actually a physical police force who protect it. They don't have like armed guards. It's
like actual security clearance, fucking military police type shit.
Yeah, but it's civilian police uniforms.
It's they are civilian, but they're like a next level up.
You know, they're all armed. They're all heavily armed. I mean, this is the type of police who have like the same weapons as like SWAT team in America have. They have. I think they have. They have better weapons. Say better, more heavily, more aggressive weapons than SO-19, which is the armed police in the UK. Derek Bird was driving around shooting people, and what the nuclear police thought was it was a diversion tactic. To get the police and I think it was Sellafield, isn't it?
Yeah.
To get the police at Sellafield out of the refinery so it could be under a terrorist attack. So they just went into fucking lockdown. They didn't go at all. The nuclear police only have authority within 2 miles around their plant. That they can arrest somebody, which is pretty weird because you're a cop around here at the end of the day. Should be able to bust anybody wherever you are. But their jurisdictions only 2 miles.
I remember actually a good few years ago looking at that type of idea, you know, to go for a job or whatever. Never ended up following it through, like, but it was, if I remember rightly, you do not work for police forces or your local. You work for the MOD. UFO. It's the directly Ministry of Defence.
Well,
on the badge, it's the Ministry of Defence.
is it the MOD police? Well, do you know the Port of Dover?
Yes.
Port of Dover has the Port of Dover Police Force.
Yeah.
Do you know who pays their wages? The Port of Dover. It doesn't come out of the funds of the Crown. It doesn't come out of the funds of the government. It's not the government who pays it. It's actually a private police force. They've got the same cars. They've got the same powers of arrest. It's still the same jurisdiction, like 2 miles around the Port of Dover. They're classed as police, but it's actually a corporation police. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know whether if they can make money doing parking tickets, but they have the same powers of arrest. They have the same ranks as normal police officers. They look like normal police officers, but that is a private corporation police force.
Have you ever been to Barrow in the Lake District?
In Furness, no.
Yeah. It puts a shit up, yeah. Barrow in Furness. In case you didn't already know, the main base in England for building nuclear submarines is there.
Yeah, that's right.
And literally,
they put them out in the Clyde, don't they?
You've got you've got like your town this big. This is Barrow in Furness, and around half the town is this fucking wall that's about 40 feet high.
You're shitting me.
No.
Barrow in Furness has got a 40-foot wall around it.
Round about half of it, because on the other side of that wall is the BAE Systems nuclear submarine building facility. I've been there myself twice. Like,
what do you mean, been there?
Well, once was
drafted in for your experience.
Yeah, but once was for work, and the other time was for going to the Lake District generally. You can't fucking miss it. You go along residential street, residential wall. It's just dirt, and it's fucking massive. Not only that, it also helps as well that most people from Barrow in Furness are a bit fucking backwards. Like, you know,
are they?
There's something not right up there at all. It's all a bit yokel. I don't know if that's got anything to do with the fucking nuclear reactors getting built next door, like, but officially they'd say it's not.
Right.
You must be able to find pictures of it.
Barrow in Furness?
Of the Barrow in Furness nuclear.
Oh, mate, it will just slow this computer fucking down. It's using all of its process power it can to fucking to keep us live on Newsstream at the moment. I didn't know that Barrow was fucking sealed off, you know. And I thought they built the submarines on the Clyde.
No, it's not sealed off, but the bases itself. But it's that big, it fucking dwarfs the town. Yeah, I'll show you now. Where's the picture?
Is this Trident nuclear submarines, is it?
It's pretty much, as far as I know, nearly every nuclear submarine that's made in Britain.
Are they still building submarines then? They mustn't...
Yeah, well, they're still building submarines. Not only that, don't forget BAE Systems.
When you mean nuclear, you mean nuclear powered?
Yeah, nuclear powered
submarines.
Right,
so not nuclear...
They're not building nuclear missiles,
right.
But they are building the nuclear subs themselves, you know, nuclear powered subs.
I tell you what, one thing that the Americans got right, the aircraft carriers are nuclear powered and ours are diesel fucking powered, and they shouldn't fucking do that.
Yeah.
See, that's the Clyde, that. Trident, I'm sure Trident's, but look at that, it's aggressive.
Look at that! That's like literally on the side of fucking Barrow in Furness. Where the fuck? There's a fucking boss picture that you can find, which just basically fucking screams what it's. Yeah, there we go. That's like the smallest picture on the fucking planet.
I'm not seeing 40-foot walls here, Declan.
Hang on. Search tools, size, large.
What have you typed in?
Yeah, hang on.
What's that part of a submarine going through the street?
Fucking twat.
Page not found.
Yeah, look, that's the base there.
Holy fuck.
These are the main fucking streets of Barrow.
What is that? Is that like nuclear reactors or something where they're refining uranium? That's all what that looks like. It does look like a nuclear building.
You can't fucking miss it when you go. You can't miss it when you go through.
BAE Systems. British.
Yeah.
Still owned Britishly. Still owned by the...
yeah, something like 85% owned by Britain. They were trying to fucking thingy it, weren't they? Trying to mix it with another European company.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it wasn't a French and German company. They were going to make the biggest military contractors in the world.
Yeah, and then we threw it out.
I'm sure they fucking should as well, you know, mate. We should be building our own defence. I know we're all trying to live in this global community, but when fucking push comes to shove, it's every man for himself, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really fucking is. I know we're in the United States of corporate Europe, but fucking hell.
Corporate Europe.
We're sharing our aircraft carriers with the French, you know. Well, I said we're sharing.
Yeah.
When they get built, we're sharing them with the fucking French.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, they swap captains. I think there was a French captain in charge of one of our fucking Royal Navy battle cruisers at one fucking point. I mean, I'm all for exchanging and all that, but fucking the cheese-eating surrender monkeys, the fucking French. That doesn't make any fucking sense. The ones who fucking run away in World War fucking II, fucking hell.
Allegedly.
Here's some Germans. No, they fucking did, didn't they? Here's the Germans that's thrown down. That's right, get the fucking Germans to our fucking doorstep.
Yeah.
And we're gonna fucking surrender.
Fucking, I can't find a better picture than that one that we had. It's fucking looked mad though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
the way it's just
it is Titanic. It is.
But it's fucking huge.
I wonder why they chose Barrow. Was it just good access? Was it to the sea or something?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I know that there's 6 main hangars, and so at any point there's 6 submarines can be built at any point. I think they recently had loads of cuts and there's only like 2 or 3 of the hangars in service at the moment. Yeah. But you know, to think about it as well, when you see the size of them fucking subs, you know, those fucking buildings have got to be massive, haven't they?
I can remember my mum telling me fucking a while ago that, this is in the 90s, when she was in Wales, right, there was a woman swimming out at sea. She was maybe 800 yards off the shoreline. She was like a really fucking good swimmer, and a fucking submarine surfaced underneath her. And she had a heart attack. She thought it was a whale.
Yeah.
She thought it was a whale, and she had a fucking heart attack. She said all she could hear was the beach was a whale. It wasn't. It was a fucking submarine. When you've heard those fucking things come up, and they come up fucking aggressively, don't they? They are terrifying.
No, that
is it a necessity to have a nuclear submarine? To have submarines? Is it something we should be investing in for our fucking protection?
Well, I think one of the main things is that if you didn't have fucking submarines, you've got no defence against submarines. You do, but you don't have much. You know, now you see, your main thing is that submarine warfare-wise, the last time anything majorly happened was fucking World War II.
Yeah.
A lot of it's fucking more or less, look at how powerful we are. Here's my submarines.
Yeah. The only major submarine disasters now are all Russian, aren't they?
Yeah.
Blowing up and living at the bottom of the sea. Look at the Maersk in 2000.
But like, I think they're a deterrent to other submarines, aren't they?
I'm sure I heard a conspiracy that the Maersk was actually shot, you know. It was actually targeted by another Russian vessel. I'm sure it fucking was. There was some fucking conspiracy fucking going around that it was sank for a fucking reason. But the Russian submarines fucking dwarf our submarines, you know. Fucking cities underwater.
I think one of the main things with with your Russian ones as well, though, is that there's much more secrecy surrounding it, if you know what I mean. A lot of the British ones and the American ones, even though a lot of the stuff in it they don't want you to know, but you know the general idea, size of it.
There's a lot of fucking documentaries on them, that's why.
I know.
There's a lot of secrecy behind, the propeller blade at the back. Is that what it's called, the propeller thing at the back, the thing that spins round? They're designed to produce as less of a sound as possible, and bubbles as well. Do you know when they're ripping through the water, it's not creating much water distortion in it as well, so that is like top fucking secret. But they're showing the fucking video footage of this fucking thing slowing down. I'm sure there's software out there to fucking freeze the video so it's frame perfect and to take dimensions off it.
But like, your main thing with that as well, isn't it? Like, you got your submarines. Then
how much is Trident costing? The one that renewed Trident.
It's a fucking lot. It's a lot.
Are we talking double figure billions?
Yeah.
Are we?
Definitely.
So is that a necessity that we need? We need to be able to have launch capability at any point from anywhere in the world. We can just for our launching. Where are the nuclear missiles in the UK? Because obviously now there will be nuclear missiles underground in the UK.
Well, the Trident system is all submarine based.
Right.
No silos, all submarines.
So if we got any submarines on land, we got any nukes on land?
Probably.
Yeah, we have.
I don't know.
I'm sure we've got a fucking shitload of nukes. I think at last count there was 35,000 nukes on the planet.
The Trident submarine system is obviously anti-nuclear. Well, it's not even anti-nuclear. It's just basically if someone's going to bomb us, we'll bomb them. Yep. That's all it is. It's not.
If somebody takes out the UK, launch at the UK, we can surface it. Any nuclear submarine can surface anywhere in the world.
And I think if someone's going to fire a nuclear missile at fucking Britain, the last thing on our mind is firing back, because we're going to be dead. You know.
Yeah, but they have the opportunity, don't they, at any time just to raise and fucking fire back. I mean, having nuclear weapons is a deterrent for anybody to use. Whoever uses it. See, I don't believe that a country is going to fire on us. I don't believe Iran are going to ever fire a nuclear weapon at the UK. Because if they do, all that's going to happen is Iran's going to get wiped out.
Yeah.
I think the biggest threat of nuclear weapons are these rogue ones, the broken arrows, which is I know there's a film. The broken arrow is an official term for nuclear weapons that have gone missing. And there's a lot of fucking when the Soviet Union fell apart, there was a lot of disgruntled generals who fucking had access to nuclear missiles. This is just what's on the conspiracy website. There was a lot of fucking high-ranking officials in Russia who had access to nuclear weapons who sold them on the black market. Yeah. Apparently, this is in the 90s. You could pick up a nuclear weapon for £1 million. And this was in the fucking 90s. I think the biggest threat is going to be from a terrorist organisation who detonates a nuclear bomb or several nuclear bombs around the world.
Yeah,
right?
Who's got no home?
Who's got no home? Who's your target then? Who'd you fuck up? What do you do then? How do you identify a target then by somebody's nationality? Do you say, oh well, he's fucking German, so we're just gonna have to wipe out Germany? Does German?
I don't know about
Germany. Then becomes the enemy.
I don't know about Germany or anything, but quite clearly, fucking one of the main enemies is going to be fucking America, isn't it? For most of these, anybody who's got that type of mentality.
I was just using it for an example.
Yeah.
Do you just identify an enemy now by the nationality of somebody?
Definitely. You're definitely doing your Middle Eastern countries, certainly. You know, well, let's face facts. Fucking anybody says anything bad about fucking Muhammad or whatever, fucking the next thing you know, whatever nationality that person is, whether they're fucking English, Danish, American, the flags are burning.
That's right, and the embassy in that particular Asian country is under fucking siege. Then,
you know, which see we go. Oh well, they probably don't represent most of the country, whereas over there, fucking, you know, they fucking out. You know, the Americans want to kill. You know, bad example of Americans, but you know, fucking the Danish disrespect us. Do you remember that one with the fucking Muhammad cartoon? Yeah. That was fucking pathetic. That
Did you ever see the picture? Did you ever see the picture of it?
Oh, I didn't. But I bet it was pathetic.
It was a picture of Muhammad, right, and his turban was a bomb. That's what it was. And I think it was something like the Islam fakes. It's just a ticking time bomb. It was a picture of Muhammad.
Fucking.
It's offensive though. South Park then had Muhammad in one of the episodes. It was blurred out all the way through though. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't. There was just. I don't even think they referred to him. I think they just suggested it as Muhammad, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised they didn't get fucking beheaded. They were in a lot of fucking shit, you know, with the fucking what's it, Islam world. Do you know what I mean? For doing that.
But like,
I'm glad I'm a man of science and I'm not a man of God.
Yeah.
I mean,
keep your God.
Yeah, you can keep your God. You really can. I'm scared of God.
Yeah.
In case it's real. Do you know what I mean? And they probably lean towards more than that there is a God, and I'm grasping onto science like a slippery fucking car. I mean, the science out there has proved that God doesn't exist. Oh no, it's not, has it? The science has proved our origins, right? And it discredits what the Bible says with Adam and Eve and all that. Apparently there is science out there to back up that the Bible is actually true, but they'll never release it. When they say, oh, can you show me the evidence? They say, no, it's a fucking secret.
Well, I think one of the main things behind it for me is, if it did exist, they'd just fucking publish it, wouldn't they? Fucking church would have the world in their fucking bag then. There you go, bam bam. But I don't fucking know. That's another kettle of fish, that, isn't it?
That's another podcast religion, isn't it?
That's a tree you don't want to go back, you know, after fucking, you know, you got to fucking prepare for that one, haven't you?
Oh, the police are circling us. The police have been listening to our podcast and they're now circling the building.
Yeah, I remember years ago.
Do you want to get on shot?
What?
Do you want to get in shot?
Yeah, might be a good idea. Fucking, I'm not even in the fucking camera. But I remember watching. I can't even remember what the fucking program was. Do you remember that science program that was presented by fucking Morgan Freeman?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Do you ever watch the episode about the people trying to find God through science?
I remember the episode. I can't remember watching it, but I can remember the episode.
Some of the fucking things that they did using science through that, you know, to make a case for God. Some of them really fucking, you know,
doolally.
Some of them were doolally, yeah, but some of them really fucking, you know,
made you think that it's real.
not necessarily make you think that's real.
Spit it out, Declan. Come on, we've already got fucking 7 minutes.
They're really... What do you mean? We've got 7 minutes?
Well, all our usage time is up in 7 minutes.
Oh,
It's
right.
not a fucking morning.
Fantastic. But at the time, they were really good fucking theories, you know, to prove that either God was real or, you know, the soul's real or this was real. It was really fucking good. You know, some of the things people came up with, like about how he tried. One of them was, you know, very religious, and he was trying to prove that God created the universe, and you know that he was trying to say that.
It sounds stupid, doesn't it?
Sounds stupid. I know, but some of the stuff, it was fascinating. It didn't convince me at all, but it was fascinating. It's fascinating that people had come up with such different ways to try and say that God might exist, or the soul might exist, or out-of-death experience, you know, out-of-body experience.
There's a lot of fucking evidence to suggest, though, that people who do have out-of-body experiences, whether it's just them dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? When people are unconscious, or they say they're clinically dead, how can it not be construed?
I've had that nice fucking route, haven't I? Fucking.
What's that?
Fucking out-of-body experience type fucking shit. Well, when I had fucking me accident, it was fucking. Surgeon said I'd have been clinically dead when it fucking happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see a white light?
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
What did you see?
That's another fucking podcast.
Oh, tell me now.
No way. But at the time, it made me think about a lot of fucking shit, you know?
Yeah.
And one of the main things I do not like, and I still get dead angry about it now, is that I cannot fucking remember what happened when I was out completely. But I remember the surgeon said to me...
Surgeon?
The surgical consult that I went to see after fucking all the shit. Yeah. He said to me, arguably, he said, officially speaking, at that point in time, you will have been fucking clinically dead.
Holy shit.
Well, not to the point of needing full resuscitation, but to the point that they were about to start CPR on me.
Did you have a heartbeat?
When they got me out, no, apparently.
Holy shit.
But obviously...
your body shut down, didn't it? That was your body protecting itself, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then obviously I started having a fit, and seizures and all sorts of fucking shit, but that was fucking like mind-blowing, world-changing shit in my own head at the time.
You're not going to start crying on me, are you, there? Because you're going to really affect our friendship here.
But I could never remember what happened, if you know what I mean. All I knew was that when I came round, I was that fucking angry, I tried to knock the fuck out of my supervisor. I don't remember doing that, but I did do it. Vin Murty at the time.
Oh, you didn't?
I did. I swung for him and everything. I don't remember this, but I swung for him and everything.
What did Vin do?
Fucking, I couldn't even stand up properly. I just tried to swing for him, then just collapsed on the floor. I was fucked.
You? Was Vin trying to kiss you?
No.
I'll give him the kiss of life.
They had me fucking. They had me fucking overall Superman style, though. Fucking open, ready to fucking resuscitate me.
Yeah, cock and balls out and everything.
Yeah, fucking cock and balls in hand, fucking everything. Fucking.
Don't make me laugh.
Fucking.
Did you make contact with Vin's face when
No.
you started swinging?
But no, I was just.
When did you get told about this, that you were swinging for Vin?
A week later when I went and did my statement.
Did you?
Chris Alcott had other statements in front of him, and apparently when I came round, or apparently when I started fitting, my eyes were in the back of my head. And then I was up. I was up for about 3 seconds. Tried to swing for everybody, not just Vinny. Everybody, everybody was the enemy. And then I couldn't go any further, and I fell on the floor. Then I was like shaking. I couldn't stand up.
Lack of oxygen to the brain.
You know.
So what Chris Alcock said, I believe he tried to assault people or something like that.
No, he was going through the statements with me. You know, saying what people had said, type of thing. Because at certain points in it, he said, "Well, what happened then?" I said, "I don't fucking know. I don't remember." You know, I just remember fucking.
Being on the tank and waking up in hospital.
It took me fucking nearly 2 bastard weeks to remember some parts of it.
Did you?
I couldn't remember fuck all. It took me 3 weeks to fucking recognise Paul Doc's face.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't remember what he looked like.
Oh
fucking
my
anything.
God.
You know, I couldn't remember fucking certain aspects of it. Just went out my fucking head. Do you know something? For fucking, I think it was about 24 days. I'd completely forgot I'd bought a house. I got accepted for the mortgage on the day that it happened.
Yeah.
About an hour before.
Yeah.
My fella phoned me up and said, "You've been accepted on the house. Pick the keys up." I only fucking remembered when fucking Michael C. Adams phoned me up and said, "The fucking keys are here. You picking them up?" I was like, "What?" I didn't even remember buying the house.
Oh my God. Fucking hell, your brain was just in shutdown mode,
Fucked.
wasn't it?
I was
It deleted the last fucking, the last 24 hours of any memories.
Didn't have a clue what fucking happened.
And then your short-term memory was severely affected. You bought an house, you want to come pick the key. I've done what? I bought a house?
I could have done anything in them fucking 24 hours. I don't have a fucking clue. I could have buried gold or anything.
So what did Chris say when you said, what was your reaction when Chris said to you, you've been swinging?
Well, I remember he hinted at it. And then it was somebody else in work who said to me, like, he said, you was fucking scary when you came round. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you was like a fucking man possessed. So you came round, you tried to stand up, you tried to throw punches at us, you was fucking spitting at the mouth and everything. He said, and then you fucking fell on the floor because you couldn't stand up. Then they had to drag me over to the fucking side of the river and everything. Yeah. And they stripped me down, fucking bollock to change me clothes. Middle of summer, so I was wearing nothing.
Not even any underwear?
Nothing.
So it's alright for you. You all get your cocks out when you go to showers.
You're too scared to do that.
Yeah, mate. I don't want to go to work and see me workmate cocks. I'll tell you now, if I had to get the showers with you folks, I'll be wearing a swimming costume.
But
what did Vinny say to you like the first time you saw him after the event?
Didn't mention anything about it at all. Nothing.
Did you say, how are you?
He said stuff like that, but he refused point blank to let me go anywhere near the blood plant though.
What do you
Funnily
mean?
enough, he refused to point blank to let me go anywhere near where the accident had happened.
Why?
Because he just believed that it was too dangerous there, because of gases and shit.
Yeah. That was good of him, that. He was looking out for you.
I know. No one else did. Fucking sent me straight back in there. Bastards. We're nearly out of viewing time now.
Yeah, we're coming to we're quickly approaching the end of the podcast. It's been a good podcast, hasn't it? We have covered quite a lot.
Good, because I'm going to fucking piss me pants here.
I know, I'm dying for it.
Bags is me first. It's my house.
I'm dying for the piss as well. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. That has been the Hit Me Man I'm Fresh podcast from DeathSquadUK.com. It's not been the Hit Me Man I'm Fresh podcast, it's been the Go Forth and Amplify podcast from DeathSquadUK.com. Please join us again next month when we'll be diving into more mind-boggling conspiracy, religious shit. Thanks for joining us and good night.